You're watching Around the Bay Sports. Leave a like, subscribe, follow us on your enjoy the show. See all your
I'm Drew.
I'm Jack.
Now I'm on. This is
Around
the Bay.
Boy. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, another Wednesday episode. So if everyone's confused, this is the only Wednesday episode we'll do. We'll get back to our regular.
We'll back. We will be back on regular schedule next week.
Yeah, next week, which is Thursdays at 8. And so, but the main reason why we're on this day is one thing only, and that's March Madness. As we can finally, right now for the moment, it's taking a little break. We'll be back tomorrow throughout the weekend. We got the Sweet 16, we got the Elite 8. But not only that, folks, MLB season has begun. If you guys are watching, the Giants and the Yankees, just to get things started on Netflix, as Netflix now being part of the sports world, with now doing baseball. Of course, the Giants not doing too well, but it's not surprising. Not really, in my point. But hopefully, maybe at least get a run or two before it's over.
The game's over.
But yeah, the Giants a new test, I guess we could say. But without being aside, we'll do our projections since the season is happening. But let's get to the first topic of the day. Not that one. And that is the Bennett era has come to an end in St. Mary's. I didn't know it'd be this quick, but as people don't know, he is an Arizona native, and so he's going to head over to Arizona and coach the Sun Devils, Arizona State. And actually, it'd be a great move for Arizona State because they had the previous coach they had. I almost say they had a good run with them, and it just feels like it's time for a new switch in management. But just to keep it within the Bay, let's talk about it. So the Gales, kind of not only that, with Bennett gone, a couple players, star players for people that watch the Gales, are also moving on. So it's definitely like a little reset for sure, maybe a rebuild.
Well, it's not a rebuild.
You say rebuild, but I don't know if that's such a thing in college. But
it seems like it.
But Drew, take us away. What's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts about the Randy Bennett, him leaving to Arizona State. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect him to do that after spending a lot of time coaching at a mid-major like St. Mary's. You thought he would just stay there forever. He's like one of the coaches that you wouldn't think wouldn't move or take another coaching spot. But it just turns out that sometimes the opportunity is kind of better at this point. And but it is what it is. But you know what? I'm happy for him because he's at a larger school, has probably a better resource there than having that at St. Mary's.
Yeah.
And obviously, with with college basketball landscape, with NIL and transfer portal, I think it's better for him, but at the same time, it hurts a lot of people from St. Mary's that they spend a lot of time watching him coaching this mid-major, taking to the tournament, which is not what you usually think. And he wins most of the games. So, but you know what? It is what it is. Happy for Randy, but my brother doesn't like. For the folks who don't know, my brother goes to Arizona State University, so he doesn't like the move from Randy. So, he does. He does. And then like you mentioned, the transfer. I think the players I could probably follow Randy, but I'm assuming they're gonna follow Randy.
Jack, what's your thoughts of this uncertain news?
I haven't paid much attention to St. Mary's like over the years, but like as of recently, since I've known you guys, we've been keeping track of St. Mary's, and they've had a pretty good seasons with Coach Bennett. He coached the team for 25 years. Um, let's see, has a 7-12 record and March Madness 7-7 record in that team. Let's see, he's a 7-time WCC Coach of the Year, and like St. Mary's didn't have very much going on until he arrived. He coached the team for like 25 years, so he made some big changes. I mean, he started coaching the team when he was like 38 years old, and now you fast forward all the years, and now he's 63. And now him going to Arizona State, he was also born in Arizona, but not in the Arizona State area. And now he has a chance to bring some success to Arizona State, because I don't think I'm not entirely sure about the history of Arizona State and how good their basketball team is, but according to their resume, they've appeared in the NCAA tournament 17 times, but only 3 Elite Eights appearances. So he has a chance to make some changes for Arizona State also. And with some players leaving, it's definitely going to be quite the end of an era in St. Mary's. So, like, some people are going to leave. You're going to recruit some new guys. St. Mary's, I'm not sure who's the new coach.
Mickey McConnell.
Yeah, so they did an in-house hire. They should have hired me. And, I mean, I hope it works out for them. But I think the main reason why people and like some players wanting to go to St. Mary's was for the coach. It kind of reminds me of like you want the coach to be on a certain team, and like a good player will go to that program or to that like sports team, whether it's in like baseball, basketball, football, soccer, or even hockey or any of those sports. So I wish all the best to him in Arizona State, but I'm not sure if he went there for the money, because I mean,
according to like the social media world, I think he was actually a former player.
Yeah, he did play.
He did play. So, because the last coach, I know I should know the name top of my
Bobby
head.
Hurley.
Yeah, Bobby Hurley, is now the second in history and assist in the NCAA now.
Yep. This point guard from
broken.
So yeah, I mean, so it says here he got like a 5-year contract.
Okay.
He's going to get over $3 million in his first year.
Yeah, that's.
I'm kind of surprised that Bennett didn't go for like an NBA job, and he's just like still staying at college.
Well, we know in the beginning when we did our little St. Mary's game day when they talked about before the Gonzaga game, ESPN did had alerts on rumors of Bennett leaving. So
there was rumors, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did tell me about that, and it was to be expected, and obviously it happened.
It happened, but I didn't expect it. Was this did this dude already made up his mind before he even got to the dance? Because
I'm sure he thought long and hard about it, because this isn't a decision you just make overnight. Because, I mean, you have kids that went into the area, like, I don't know if he has like a woman or something. But yeah,
I met his wife plenty of times. Yeah.
You got he's got a wife, he's got kids.
2 kids.
You just developed that for like the past 25 years in the Bay Area. And now you're making a big change by going to Arizona, which, I mean, it's a pretty good state because, I mean, I was there recently. But, I mean, it's just, I wouldn't have picked Arizona State, but that's just me. But, I mean, I just wish him the best, and I hope he can find success there.
Yeah, like, I say the same. It's just I didn't know how sudden it was. I was just like, I know it takes thought, but it's just like I wonder his mind was made up after the tournament in the conference. I wonder that's kind of like, well, didn't get to the conference championship again, so it's like, well, it just felt like it almost seemed like that was like the time to now just think like, of course, stay with the team with the same for the March Madness, which we'll talk about, and then see where that is, and then see how far that goes, and then you know, move on. I mean, as we know, Gonzaga, the Pac-12. According to Jesse, speaking of that, Jesse will not be with us. School has still kept him busy, but hopefully we'll see him in the next one. We all miss him, so I know education is important though. But
Yeah.
continuing on, like I don't know what his input is. I know when he messaged us, he did the whole Vader no thing from episode 3 because I don't know, he just felt like it was too soon, but and all that. So I mean, he did say his input is for the team itself. The conference is still weak, but now he's a little worried about Santa Clara. We'll see how everyone else will be because Seattle U, they had a pretty good year one. They got to the NIT tournament, so like. And then we have Denver University joining in, and UC Irvine, because I think right now, since the Pac-12 has been reorganized, that now I think Oregon State and Washington State can go now
Go back to
the Pac, and then Denver University and UC Irvine will join in.
Yeah.
So there's probably some competition, but yeah, the St. Mary's that we once know so well and so dominant could still be there. We'll see what it's like.
I just don't think the St. Mary's Gonzaga is going to continue after.
But no, yeah, that's the other thing. It's going to continue. They're going to try at least do kind of like a 1-2 thing, one in there, one over here, and so on and so on.
Yeah, I have a question to you guys. Do you think Bennett's like coaching is going to make a difference in the Big 12 conference?
Probably. I mean,
because you got Arizona, you got Houston, you got Kansas, you got Iowa State.
I just feel like
I feel like you even got Cincinnati, who's pretty decent at basketball.
Right.
And even BYU also. It's just you're gonna have Bennett is gonna have to give quite the turnaround.
Well, yeah, I mean that's probably the idea, but we're not I'm just assuming just to help maybe do a little retool. Well, we don't know until we get all the news, but maybe just. Of course, with his experience, he's been doing this for quite some time, so it's like he can carry that, and to a bigger conference, tougher competition with, as you say, Houston, Arizona, BYU, and so on. So we'll see, but I think it's just now. It's like heck. It's like his coaching experience when Arizona State takes on U of A. Would Arizona State still get whooped? Probably, but. We don't know, but I feel like with his experience, it may be it's like a new chapter, like a short chapter, but at least something new for Arizona State.
Yeah, but I mean, as the team looks, if you get the similar players, if you don't get recruit crazy in the off season and get a couple 5-star players from high schools or whatever. Not only do I not see them in the top 25, I don't really see them in the top 8 in their conference.
Well, I mean that feels like that should be expected.
But I mean, honestly, now kind of thinking of it, I kind of question his coaching decision to leave where he's had success versus where he's going to. He faces the unknown.
Well, he is around. He is an Arizonian.
I know he is from Arizona, and it makes sense to go back home, but you also developed a home. I'm sure when he had to think about this, he had to talk to his family about it.
Yeah.
But if his family was against it, then he would have not. I guarantee you 1,000% he would have said, you know what, I'm not going to take the job. I'm just going to stay at St. Mary's.
We don't know the talks. We don't know if the school just felt we don't know if it's on his decision. Or it was the school. We don't know the talks, but
I'm sure he'll get a press conference some point and talk about it.
Heck, well, there's a press conference already for the St. Mary's, and I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
You can see you guys can see it at your own leisure. So hear what he says, but I'm not laughing on the words he was mentioning, but it's just I'm kind of curious. But anyway, let's move on now to our next topic of hand. and that is the MLB season. As we know, it is cut off. It has officially begun, and I just felt like maybe we should at least do some. Sorry, apologize, but MLB projections. We know the MLB season has begun, and I just felt like, what are you guys' thoughts on just the entirety of it? Because as we know, could this be the last season before the lockout? If the Dodgers end up doing,
it's gonna happen. The Dodgers are already gonna win the World Series for the next year. The Dodgers are gonna win the World Series for the next they're gonna be in our 80s and they're still gonna keep winning championships.
I think that's a bit of overreaction there.
No, I'm not kidding. This
team they might have 20 the next 40 years, sure, but
these dudes have unlimited money. Their team's kind of young. And they can just keep like free agency after free agency. They can say, "Hey, we'll sign you for like a 2-year $1 billion contract." It's like this kind of stuff. Like even they just got
Okay, how about this? Do you
what is that guy's name? They literally just signed him like not too long ago.
Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker, yes. Like their entire outfield almost costs $1 billion. Do you understand how crazy that is? It's just insane to me.
Okay, how about this?
Like, I'm a Giants fan. I don't like the Dodgers, but I mean, facts are the facts.
Jack. All right, how about this? Do you like if they do it, the cap space? Do a cap thing?
No.
Like it?
No.
I mean, not entirely, but I mean, it's just the Dodgers have more money. I don't know, like I know that the Mets. I think like the Mets have the most amount of money, but they're not using it for crap.
Yeah,
that's just their thing.
And like, then they start make like 3 moves at the very end. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. And they just lost all these guys. Like, let's see, who's a big one? You lost Pete Alonso. You who's another big guy they lost? They lost a lot this offseason.
Who's the pitcher? That pitcher. I forgot. But anyway, what do you, Drew? What's your projection?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Let's see. You lost Pete Alonso. You lost Brandon Nimmo. You lost Edwin Diaz. You lost Noah Syndergaard. You lost Jacob deGrom. You lost Austin Adams. It's just they lost all these guys, and they still Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen is a billionaire, and he ain't spending shit. And he needs to start spending if he's going to get his team to the World Series ever again.
Well, that's it. It's bottom of the ninth for the Giants. So let's see.
Of course, they're probably going to lose again.
Place they get it wrong. But yeah, Drew, what's your?
What are your thoughts?
It's interesting that like it could be the last season before the lockout, but to answer the question about the cap space and stuff, I would say no. I think they just get rid of deferred money. That's how the Dodgers are really getting those key players, because they're deferring the money. Because players are deferring their money to make sure that the other team doesn't get the best players available in the market. That's why Shohei does it. That's why Kyle Tucker does it. That's why Blake Snell has done it. So they keep the money so they can spend on all the good players. But
let's just stick with what's like with all the just the divisions in the AL and the NL. What's your rankings in that?
I think that
heck, you can just start with the Giants division right now since Jack already ran. What's your projection of like the standings in the division?
Well, I don't really. If the Giants don't make a move before the deadline, it's just depending how they start. If they don't do anything aggressive, like a trade or anything, they're going to be in third place again, and the Padres are going to be in second, and the Dodgers are going to be in first. Dodgers are going to be in first no matter what.
Okay, that is expected.
Everybody and their grandma knows the Dodgers are going to win the division. If the Dodgers don't win the division, I'll be shocked.
So are we just going to think the Giants would just be a sub 500 again? they've been doing
Like,
for the
if they
past,
reach 500, then
have they been doing for the past probably like 5 years before I was
Yeah.
even a Giants fan.
I'm hoping for the Giants to at least get 90 or more wins. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for with this experiment. But
What I expect is like 85 wins.
yeah, that might happen.
That might happen.
So you got Giants third, D-backs second, with the Dodgers in first, and the Rockies last. That's your projection for that division?
I got the Rockies like last, D-backs fourth, Giants 3, Padres 2, Dodgers 1.
I have Padres. Drew, what's yours with the Giants division?
I think the Dodgers will get first place, obviously. I think the D-backs will get. I think the D-backs will be second, and then Giants third, Padres fourth, and then Rockies fifth.
Yeah, I mean, unless the Padres suffer some injuries, then the Giants could be a long second. But if not, then yeah, it'd probably be once again the Dodgers, Padres with the Giants. Unless this season goes real bad, then D-backs could be third place and the Giants
Yeah.
fourth. But the Giants definitely could be a third or fourth place team unless something happens along the season. As we know, the Giants are down 7-0, bottom of the ninth, with one man on base. At this point, oh, look at that wild pitch. Now they're man in scoring position. So, 7-0, just at least try and draw a run. And of course, the former Giant, Duval is pitching right now. But for my Brewers, though, I mean, man, that was a hell of a season. I just know we're on for redemption now. And I know that MLB has projected them to be a wild card team, which could happen. But I still feel like Brewers will still win the division. Brewers, Cubs. Reds, Pirates. I know the Brewers, Reds, Cubs, and then the Pirates because we know about the Pirates. Poor Paul Skeens.
Yeah, poor Paul Skeens.
As the Giants lose 7-0 in their opener.
Giants get Paul Skeens.
But
One of your kidneys.
Awards. What do you think? Cy Young, MVP, best catcher.
MVP is going to be for the National League, Shohei Ohtani, and probably for the American League because they love to, this dude, Aaron Judge, for MVP in American League. Yeah, I'm seeing tired of it. Should have been Kyle Raleigh last season because he had 60 home runs. But no, screw that. Aaron Judge is a Yankee instead of being on the Giants. I guarantee you, 1,000%. If Aaron Judge has that MVP season on the Giants, will not get talked about. And Kyle Raleigh would have won unanimous MVP.
I mean, fine. I'm doing Kyle Raleigh for AL MVP.
I'm doing it for Judge. Like the Cy Young for the National League is going to be Paul Skeens. The Cy Young winner is going to be a dude that turned his back on USA in the American League. By the way, do we ever talk about how the World Baseball Classic ended on any podcast that we've done?
Oh yeah,
we did.
We're on
we
it. No, not the championship. Should we
Oh,
talk?
no. We no.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know if I want to because I'm actually going to go on like a
It was a
2-hour tantrum because this team just sucked.
I mean, do you want to keep it at least 15?
I don't even know if I can keep it like 50. I don't even know if I can keep it 10 minutes.
Okay.
Dude, the way that they played was sorry all game.
All right, so I guess we're talking about it then. So in case people didn't know, USA fortunately falls short, losing to Venezuela. So congrats to them, but it was a bit of a heartbreaking to watch.
No, it was like watching somebody get their leg cut off very slowly.
Well, it depends how you act. If you want to react how Jack is, or you want to be like me and just go as you see it. That it was a sad
USA struck out 10 times in that game. 10 times. Judge struck out 3. Schwarber struck out 3 times. It's just I just can't believe the lack of. I don't know if USA doesn't give a crap about the World Baseball Classic because these kind of numbers say I don't give a damn and I just want to go back to playing LB. Okay, you go back down playing LB and then you suck. Then are you just a piece of crap and you can't play baseball? Like Bobby Wood Jr. batted 250. Bryce Harper at his best home run of his career in the World Baseball Classic. Then all of a sudden, you do the dumbest fucking coaching, and you put in what's the asshole's name? Garrett Whitlock. You put in Garrett Whitlock instead of Mason Miller. Who does that? Is this like educate? This is like Alabama education at its finest. Like, what are you doing? Mark DeRosa might be the worst baseball coach on the planet. And this dude just doesn't give a damn about his job. I went so far. I told this to Amon. I haven't even announced this to anyone yet. And my parents, if you're watching this, then brace yourselves for this shit.
Like, so, I want to talk about that, but go ahead.
I go on Instagram. Literally like an hour after the game.
I can't believe you
I go to USA Baseball's DMs, and I said, you guys need to fire DeRosa's ass. His horrible coaching decisions cost the team this game and their lack of hitting. Hire me to be the coach of USA Baseball. And
guys, he literally...
And I promise on my entire life savings, I will bring you guys a championship for the first time since 2017. Get your shit together and hire some other mofo that'll do the job better than you can do. Because Mark DeRosa is a piece of crap and is the most uneducated coach in the history of baseball. Like, I've seen coaches for many years. I've seen, like, my dad is a better coach. My Coach Fordell is a better coach. My mother could coach this bit better than this.
They're gonna have the
like, it's just my house sitter that I'm staying with could coach better than this shit.
Right.
It's just,
but like,
you
know, like, honestly,
you ever heard of a thing called using logic? It's kind of common sense. You put in your best closer that has been dominant all World Baseball Classic, and you put in the guy that's been getting lit up. Good job, DeRosa. God, I don't know if this is like, God, it's like, what are you doing? And it's just, there's certain people that you put in the lineup. First off, starting Nolan McLean, you were doomed from the get-go for starting him. I mean, this dude gives up, in 4 innings, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, a walk. He had 4 Ks, so that's not bad. And he gave up a home run on 63 pitches. That is pretty garbage. And he's supposed to be one of the aces on the New York Mets. So I guess now we figure out the Mets suck at pitching. So now you got Nolan McLean in this. And then all these other guys you put in actually did pretty decent. Like, after that, you only gave up 2 hits. And one of them, Garrett Whitlock gave up. He gave up a hit, a run, an earned run, and a walk on 20 pitches. These Venezuelan guys, I'm not mad at Venezuela because Venezuela actually is good at baseball. They did their part. USA should have kicked their ass with their lineup. I mean, it's just their entire lineup is an all-star team, and yet you can barely score 2 runs. And you're the New York Mets. You score 7 runs when you had a guy like Aaron Judge, and he struck out 4 times today. Some of these
logic.
If I was a coach, I would hire people who actually give a damn about, like, playing baseball for your country. I get the president is a piece of crap, but actually play. You don't care about baseball. I'm telling you right now. If I was a coach, I wouldn't have brought Aaron Judge in. I wouldn't have brought Bryce Harper in. I wouldn't have brought in Kyle Schwarber. I wouldn't have brought in Kyle Raleigh. I would have brought in a bunch of different guys. I would have gotten Pete Alonso on the team, and you didn't hire him when he's like a multi-time home run hitter and he's one of the most powerful first basemen. You have lost your damn mind. And it's just, why didn't you start Gunnar Henderson, who's been one of the hottest hitters in all of World Baseball Classic? He was only batting over 500, and you just put him in a pinch hit, and it's pretty much a sabotage mode, and he strikes out. And, like, I just don't get it. Like, you started Bobby Witt Jr., okay. You started Bryce Harper. That's a dumb move. You started Judge. I mean, what else are you going to do? Kyle Schwarber, I don't get it. Bregman sucks. Roman Anthony kind of stepped up, but he's been playing like a bum recently. Will Smith was the better hitting catcher than Cal Raleigh. Bryce Turang is actually hitting pretty well. I don't know why you put him 8th. And the fact that you put in Byron Buxton, like, he had 9 at-bat appearances, and he got 0 mother trucking hits. I don't know why you don't put in Pete Crow Armstrong. This is why I tell you, Mark DeRosa needs to be, like, re-educated on how to do baseball. And I wish there was I wish, like, to God that there was a way that he could see this. Because Team USA Baseball, I DM'd you guys. You guys don't give a damn. You hire me, I'll get you a championship.
Let's just pause.
Years in 2029. 2029, well, no, 2028, come to me. You hire me, I'll get you a championship, and then I want to be your manager for the next, like, 20 years. I want a 20-year contract. Because I give a damn about this. You won't find many guys who give a damn about it. I do. Because I want Team USA should be the dominant team that they are. This isn't the Venezuelan sport or the Dominican Republics or any of those countries. This is our sport. We invented this shit, and we took it to their countries to show them how to play baseball. This is our sport. We own this shit. God, it's like, I remember, and if you guys watch a series called The Penguin, it's pretty much the quote of what Venezuela did to USA is, they run shit, we eat shit. I just don't get it because USA, they play like crap, and they deserve to eat it because they play like dog shit. And honestly, I could give you an entire lineup that gives a damn, and I'll play better than these sack of bums that you hired and this coach. Honestly, if there's anything that Trump can do right is deport that asshole because he doesn't know how to coach baseball. All right, I'm done. Go ahead.
All right, so let's just go with Jack. Just like so, in case people want to know, he literally did that, and of course, they probably whoever the media team is, he probably if they saw that message, or I mean, they get probably billions.
They probably wouldn't see it.
DMs, but I just felt
like, they don't give a crap.
But
they're
just
like saying, yeah, we're the better country at baseball.
Let's just react to what you just did. Like, out of all, like, you watch a lot of viral things that people do when their team's doing bad. They smash things. They, all this and that. But to know that what Jack just did, that just like I know it was heartbreaking, but just what you did. And Drew, what's your react to what Jack did? Just hearing for the first time, I laughed. I'm like, you literally went to them and give them a good message rant.
Like, here, hold on. Let me grab my phone.
But Drew, like,
you guys see him joking. I'm not joking. Yeah, that is Team USA Baseball, and that is my message.
He's not joking. And
no,
like,
joking.
I don't know what he even did. He even like tagged us in the whole post thing or something. I don't know, on our story. But anyway, Drew, like, isn't that the craziest thing you ever heard?
Well, he showed us the DMs.
Yeah, but like when you hear just hearing the story though,
that was funny.
God, it's
I just couldn't laugh.
He doesn't give a shit. He just wants money in his pocket. I love baseball. I've been playing longer than any other sport in my entire life.
All right, hang on. Let's change subjects real quick as we'll get to our.
By the way, someone clipped a rant by Jack. Now, please.
Oh no, I'll record it and send it to Team USA. I don't give a damn.
All right. Let's now get
our Instagram.
let's now just get to the big topic, and that is March Madness. And
March Madness.
Is it the best one? Who knows? But
yeah, it's been kind of quiet.
But just to react, day 2, just these two, that whole week entirely. I mean, clearly the biggest upset is VCU being North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina was up by like 20 points, and VCU comes back and wins in overtime.
The biggest upset wouldn't be Iowa beating Florida.
But I'm just saying, that's the first one. Then the next one, that recently, Iowa being Florida. Down goes the 1 seed.
Yeah,
Now,
so that means we got a new champion.
the most heartbreaking one was that Vandy game. Like, how does the ball not go in? Like, that was like the most beautiful soft shot when Jack and I saw the ACC when NC State did the buzzer beater force overtime. It was like that beautiful of a shot, and for some reason, it decided to do like pinball on the thing and decide like, I'm not gonna go in the hoop. Like that was like the most heartbreaking, and that's maybe the most cinematic ending we might get, but we'll see as the event continues. But what are you guys' like biggest moments? I mean, of course, the other question is how's everyone's brackets today? Because no one has a perfect bracket. Honestly, it was as expected.
Yeah, no one else is per bracket across the world, but I mean, I kind of like where my bracket's going. I mean, I'm letting it ride with Nebraska. Hopefully, Nebraska can go to the Final Four, even though they're about to play against Iowa, who beat Florida. And Nebraska in that game, their game against, I believe it was Vanderbilt, was one of the craziest endings I've ever seen. Like the guy makes a layup with like 2 seconds left, then they're done. Vanderbilt like passes it in, and then they call timeout. Because if they simply didn't pass it in, they didn't touch the ball at all. They would have taken it out of bounds on like near half court instead of like being under the rim. So they do that. Then I think Tanner, who's
Tanner
for Vanderbilt, he chucks him around half court and it goes in and out. And I was like, oh my god,
that was like the worst.
I was like, oh, that sucks for him. But my team that I picked for the Final Four is still alive.
But I'm just thinking, I know if you want to go with your bracket brain, but go with just being a sports fan. Because this March Madness, we were talking about it. This is not like those I don't say easy, but it's not like those ones you might think like, oh, not too many upset, not too many cinematics.
Well, you know what though? You know what to me is probably the bigger upset is High Point beating Wisconsin.
I mean, sure, you could say that, but like you could say that, sure, but honestly, like High Point. I mean, you saw that team is fast. I mean, that team is like a hybrid team, and so like Wisconsin tied with how they do their 3-pointing, like the Warriors. Like we were pretty much watching like a mini version of the Warriors in March Madness. And in case you want to know, High Point's in Carolina, a small school, but like. Sure, you could say that as an upset, but I feel like I'm more alien more to the VCU with North Carolina because you know about UNC, and then of course you got with Florida and Iowa. But yeah, that's your opinion. I'm not really taking that as like a huge upset. Yes, it was disappointing because I figured how Wisconsin played, but it was pretty much we wanted more, and we showed we wanted more, but High Point was better. And, it just went to 3-pointers at this point. It was like a 3-point contest. I didn't catch the highlights because I was busy, but I did get the alerts and I saw it. I was like, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, and then High Point got their Jack Golke, if you guys remember 2 years ago, where he made a bunch of threes.
Let's see, who do you play for again? Or where do you go
to? Oakland. Oh. That team that beat Kentucky 2 years ago.
Not Oakland and college.
Oakland in Michigan. Yeah, but I also think, I mean, like you guys said, that Iowa, you never expect Iowa to beat Florida, and then
I actually want to talk about that, how it went down. Like, I don't know what Florida was really thinking. Another one I was kind of thinking is Kansas and St. John's. That was probably the weirdest ending on how they tried. Like, I see what they were trying to do, but I think if they didn't do that last foul before going to half court, then I know they were worried someone's going to do this and try to get the shooting, which could happen. But I just felt like their strategy didn't work because they just had to let him drive and he couldn't foul. Because I felt like you might as well try to foul then, or at least before you did to this half court, let them actually get past and then do a hack and then see what happens. And I feel like they did it way too much and a little too soon, in my opinion, with that. But yeah, continue on, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, they were pretty good games. And then Texas, I don't consider them like a Cinderella team, but I don't know, just the placement they were, the seeding they were, felt like a Cinderella, but I don't think they were. But they did beat Gonzaga, which was
I mean, I am like that. Yeah, that game just now going my bracket brain. I said like whoever wins that matchup is going to beat Gonzaga too. And when I
yeah.
saw that,
You did call it. You did call it.
I was in full bracket brain. I'm like, oh my gosh, Texas beat Gonzaga. I predict. Who knew that was going to work?
You did call that. You did. You did. Yes, you did.
But I mean, like, just think of all the other matches. I mean, sure, some were blowouts, some were like close and pulls away. But like, how about this? The one seeds. Michigan is no joke. Arizona, no joke. Was Florida, but things happen. And then we got Duke.
Puke.
Duke, puke.
I call him Puke because I'm a Notre Dame fan.
But like, let's just like I know Duke. It's Duke. I mean, Duke is just a.
They were concerned. They look concerned.
I mean, they could have lost to TCU for all. I don't know how they won that. It's like these games.
They could have lost to Siena.
Yeah, they could have lost Siena. I was just gonna say that.
I mean,
They could have lost to Siena.
I don't see them beating St. John's. I just don't.
Everyone's
If
going
I was
for
in DC, I would have gone to that game.
I should have.
It is in DC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you were in DC, yeah.
But like, yeah, like Duke. But man, Michigan though. I thought St. Louis was good. I thought that Michigan game was St. Louis. Okay, this might be a pretty good one to watch. No, not entirely. Like that was it. And now it's like now Bama and we got Bama and Michigan. Now that is something you might want to keep an eye on. We'll see what happens. I think
Michigan's going to blow them out.
probably so because that team is literally
that team's no joke.
200 points.
Yeah, but I mean, Alabama lost the second best scorer due to him doing hella marijuana, and then he got a felony charge for it.
I mean, people thought so. Just sticking with Bama, people thought when that happened, they prepared. But when they go to the next game, maybe of course, the coach believes in the team. But like, I don't know if everyone had this thought that Bama could have been done with Texas Tech. I had Texas Tech over them because I just saw how Texas Tech team is, and instead we got like a sleeper game when Bama just blew them out by like 30 points.
They could have lost to Hofstra, their first round game.
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of those moments where it's like it could happen, it couldn't happen. But now let's go. So now let's go to the women's real quick. We finally got an upset, and I guess this is considered the Cinderella. Virginia battled in double overtime. They beat Georgia. They went to war, double OT in Iowa to pull off the upset, and they're in the Sweet 16 here in in Sacramento. So congrats to them. That's like the Cinderella. But you guys know about LSU? I don't know if you watching, but do you know LSU and South Carolina feel like they just need to meet in the championship?
Yeah.
South Carolina won 102 to 34 on
That's the first game.
seed team on the first game. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I get it, showing the dominance, but I'm just like I feel bad for Southern University, and then not Louisville.
LSU.
LSU was like, hold
on for a second.
Hold on for a sec. They won same thing this time, like
112,
4 or 5 to like 49 against like Jacksonville. So I'm just like, okay, clearly LSU and South Carolina, we just need to see it. But not only that, I don't know if you guys saw Washington and TCU. That went to overtime, and Washington was up by they blew it. They were up by 10 points. That was a pretty exciting game. If you guys caught that,
I watched the end.
Like we could Washington apparently they haven't gotten the Sweet 16 since like 2009. So
they were in 16 last year.
They were. Oh, they were.
Yeah,
I heard the commentator saying like they never got there since 2009.
That's maybe like Final Four or something, but
Final Four. Okay.
Maybe Final Four.
Anyway, like now let's just stick with men's and women. So for the upset for the women, Virginia, the 10th seed, just keep
Notre Dame beating Ohio State.
going. But yeah, let's talk about that actually. So I have Notre Dame to the Elite Eight, and they
So do
got
I.
Vandy. They got Vandy, which that's going to be a hell of a game to watch.
Two great players, both sides.
Yeah, but let's talk about Notre Dame and Ohio State before we go to our projections of what we see for the men's and women's. What do you guys think of your Irish demolishing Ohio State, which I had right because I knew that was going to happen.
I mean, good for Notre Dame being in the what are they in the Sweet 16 now?
Yep.
They're in
Good
Fort
for
Worth.
them. It's going to be tough going up against.
Vandy.
They're playing Vandy next.
Let's see. Might
They're on
be able
Vandy.
to going up against Vanderbilt, but in the end, I mean, UConn's going to win. They're just too good.
But what do you think? What do you think of just Notre Dame though?
I think Notre Dame, though, for being a 6 seed, is doing pretty well. It's not going to be easy going up against Vanderbilt, but I'm hoping if it's like Notre Dame and UConn, then Notre Dame got a good run if that happens.
I mean, I have them in the Elite Eight to take on
UConn. So right.
and then we'll see what happens there. But you never know. But Drew, what do you think of the Irish and women's basketball?
I mean, they did a thing. They took care of business in Columbus. Obviously, they got a tall task against Vandy. Mikhail Blakes. She's a good player. She's one of the best players in the country. Obviously, Vandy is on the rise for the women's program. So it's going to be a tall task. But I wish they were in Sacramento, but they're not. They're in Fort Worth. So, but yeah, we'll see, though. We might see UCLA and LSU in Sacramento. So, we'll see.
Maybe.
Oh,
but and then for Michigan's been doing quite well. I thought the NC State would be a little tough, but Michigan prevailed, and now they got Louisville in Texas, so not much of a home game. But Michigan, they might do it. I know they got LSU, they got UConn, they got South Carolina, they got who knows, maybe Virginia, who knows. But let's project for to conclude our stream here. Thanks for the ones staying with us, but we're gonna slowly conclude this on. Let's just project for the men's. What's your final four? Don't go with your bracket. Go with your own.
No, I'm not trying. I think St. John's coming out of the East for me.
All right.
And then I got Houston coming out of the South. And then Arizona from the West. And then I got Michigan from the Midwest.
Jack, just with your own mindset. Don't go with your bracket brain. Go with just what you've been seeing.
Okay. Well, according to what I have been seeing, I got UConn out of the East.
Okay.
Out of the West, I got Arizona. Arizona's been pretty dominant so far, though. A little concerning seeing only beating Utah State by 12, so that's something to watch out for against Arkansas. It's pretty good.
We'll see about that. We'll see that back.
Michigan for the Midwest. And I know like you guys not saying we're not going on our bracket, but I don't care. I'm believing in Nebraska for the South.
I mean, I might be with you because Houston does have. I mean, Houston has a good matchup with Illinois. We'll see how that goes down. But yeah, it's between St. John and UConn, but I'll do St. John's, Arizona, Michigan, and I might do the same. I think Nebraska could beat Houston. And then, what's your championship?
My championship, let's see, between Nebraska and UConn, and UConn's better. I'm sorry, Huskers. The train's got to end right there. And then Arizona and Michigan, that's a tough one.
That's a matchup we all.
That's like two Goliaths going at it, but I'm gonna go with Arizona for the edge.
All right, for the edge, okay. Drew,
I'm gonna say Arizona and Houston.
You know, for the ones, Arizona, Houston. All right.
Well, Houston's a 2 seed.
Okay. And then for me, I mean, if I got St. John's, Nebraska, that would be very interesting. But that'd be weird. This would be a weird one now. Actually, no, I almost, gosh, I'm gonna flip with UConn and just go UConn, Nebraska.
UConn, Nebraska, Michigan, and Arizona.
Yeah, that's my final four.
No, I'm just with what I just did. But for my championship, it would be kind of like I'll do UConn or Nebraska. Not doubting them, they'll probably just pull it off and just we just witness history, a new story to tell. But UConn, I guess yeah, UConn and Michigan. I mean, Michigan Arizona would be a dream match. I mean, me and my cousin need to meet and watch it.
You and your country go to Indianapolis if that actually happens.
Yeah, but I still got Michigan all the way. You know, yes, I have my bracket brain, but I'm just feel like Michigan's a hell of a season. They're just a Goliath. I mean, just them in Arizona. That's the matchup we need. I wish they were flipped and just get Michigan Arizona championship. But that's not happening. But then for the women's, real quick, I think the matchup it has to be South Carolina and LSU. UCLA, they're so dominant, but I feel like the matchup we need to see is South Carolina and LSU. I know UConn is a hell of a team too, but I feel like I think I'm going to drop UConn a little off early and do South Carolina LSU in Phoenix. Well, John, before we conclude,
he joined.
if we can see him, Jesse, can you hear us?
Yes, I could hear you.
Oh,
I'm reporting. I'm on a quick break from class. I saw. Sorry, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I just.
Well, we're just talking about the March Madness, but what's just your thoughts on like the MLB, or we're doing MLB? What about Bennett? What's your thoughts?
Bennett, I think that was a huge loss. You could see it that we've lost our two biggest players that we have on this team with. Excuse me, with both Paulus Morauskas and Mikey Lewis leaving. So we're already seeing that impact. I think that our advantage though is that we're playing in a lesser conference now that Gonzaga is gone. I feel like the only team we really need to worry about is Santa Clara and maybe San Francisco.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on just I guess just stick with the Giants division, you're wearing the gear. I know, of course, they got annihilated, but I feel like that wasn't expected. But what's your thoughts on just how you think the season might pan out?
I'm seeing a lot of the same things from last year, running into too many double plays, not getting enough momentum. They got a new hitting coach, but I'm not seeing any progress in their hitting. What was the final, by the way? I saw the first 5 innings.
7-0.
7-0.
Okay, so yeah, I think that the only problematic inning was really the second inning, and even defensively, like with our throws, we were hitting a lot of their base runners as they were running the bases.
Okay, I didn't notice that. All right, and well, what do you think the record will be if you have one?
Oh, it's
just what
around 500 again. I think that's their finish.
Well, how about this? What just the wins?
I'm just gonna say around 500, whatever that would be.
All right, whatever the
81 wins.
All right.
Yes.
But
what's your final four then?
What's your final four?
I still don't have that. I'm sorry.
Okay, I just want. I don't know if you've been watching other games, but I know the Gales lost, so I get it. But I guess
I still think Duke for sure. Sure.
All right, go and Duke.
Okay, so you got Duke from the East. Okay.
I think we're doing Final Four, but you saying Duke all the way?
No, I'm saying I think that they'll be one of the Final Four teams.
Okay. He got Duke from the East then.
Okay, Duke from the East. It was so like Just to help you out, we got Houston, Illinois, and Nebraska, Iowa. In
From
that
the South.
from the South,
I think Houston.
Houston, and
Okay.
then we got
Yes.
Michigan, Bama, and Tennessee against Iowa State.
I like Iowa State. Iowa State.
Oh, Iowa
Okay.
State. All right, and then lastly, it's
Arizona,
Arizona,
Purdue,
Arkansas, Purdue, and Texas.
Texas,
What was the second team you said, Amon?
Arkansas.
Arkansas, with,
Mm,
with Purdue and Texas.
I'm gonna go with Texas.
Ooh,
Ooh.
right. I like it. I like it.
I like that
Spicy
too.
upset.
That would be a very big upset.
That would be a very big upset and a hell of a story. But who do you
It'll be
have?
the first one since 2021
Yeah.
with UCLA.
Even though Texas claims they're not a Cinderella team.
Yes.
All right, who do you? Last thing, who do you have all the way?
Winning it all?
What do you
Yeah.
have before you?
I think Duke.
You got Duke.
Duke.
All right, Duke
Yeah.
all the way. And maybe one last thing, one more thing.
Yes.
Are we going to see you next week?
Yeah, I'm on spring break next week.
All right, hear that, folks. We're going to get Jesse back on board.
We are getting Jesse back for next
That
week.
means Ball Don't Lie will also return.
So yeah, we'll run that game one last time and do all the
You
reactions.
do final four predictions and
Well, Jesse, we're actually about to conclude. Unless you have anything else to say.
All right. Nope, that's it.
All right.
Go
well,
Dubs, even though horrible injury. Wait, did you guys talk about that? The Moses
we
Moody
actually
injury?
did not. I guess
reading that.
let's do that real quick since we got you. So yeah, in case you didn't know, Moses Moody had a drastic injury, a patella tendon tore off, and
I'm sorry. I actually have to go back to class.
okay, never mind. Well,
Goodbye, Jesse.
All right.
We'll see you, Jesse.
Yes. All right.
We'll see you on Saturday.
Amon, you could just drop me. Yeah.
Well, actually, do we hold that? Do you want to talk about it real quick, or should we hold it for our next episode?
We can talk right now. I mean,
Okay, let's share our quick thoughts. Thanks for staying with us. I know I just said we're about to slowly conclude, but thanks to Jesse to remind us of a drastic NBA news, at least sticking with the Warriors. Moody, unfortunately, had a very horrific injury, a patella tendon. And if you saw it, if you saw it, is something you don't see every day in athletes, but you know that this is what you put your body into in sports, I guess I'll say. But what are your just thoughts on just seeing that? We're not just with that injury on Moses Moody. What's your quick?
Yeah,
thoughts?
I didn't watch the game, but I mean, I just saw like the highlight of it, and it looked like his entire knee just like popped out, and it's a pretty scary sight to see. And
I mean,
I'm really hoping for a speedy recovery from Moody because he's been playing very well recently, and now that he's out for the year, I mean,
it might be out for a little more too.
I just gotta say, next man up for the Dubs.
Yeah, Drew.
obviously, it sucks to see that happen. Honestly, non-contact injury is probably the worst thing that actually happened. And like I said, hopefully he has a speedy recovery. I mean, this dude was a baller. He didn't complain, not even one thing. And it sucks that he's gonna be out for probably recovering for like at least 6 to 12 months, depending on how he does recovery-wise and in rehab. But yeah, it sucks to see, and yeah, it sucks to see that happen.
Yeah, it's a really sad thing, and just that I saw like what the injury looked. It's like kind of like almost like an internal bite mark. Like it looks like when I saw it, viewer discretion advised, but literally his kneecap kind of like
Gave up.
It kind of like a ping, and so
Dislocated.
it got dislocated. So anyway, it looks like kind of like a bite mark almost, or like your knee got extended. But hopefully a speedy recovery, and I mean, seeing that is just it's sad, it's ugly, and it sucks. So hopefully the Warriors can push on of who they got who they got going throughout the season, and hopefully, of course, we're moving for a speedy recovery,
Yep.
a healthy recovery. Without further ado, thanks for tuning in. Sorry to keep you waiting, but appreciate it. Have a good one and enjoy the rest of March Madness.
A lot of content.